President sign that bill today, and do you have any more comments on the bill?
The President will sign that bill as soon as it arrives at the White House.
The Surface Transportation Reauthorization Bill provides federal funding for highways and for bridges, for public transit. It pays for buses, it pays for subways, it pays for capital projects that make a direct impact on our members.
New York City Transit, which moves around 5 million people a day, we're the largest transit system in North America. Federal funding is very important. New York City Transit is the largest recipient of that funding.
Transportation is very important, keeps the world moving. We do about 450,000 rides a day.
Omaha is an area of about 1 million people. We have a lot of older buses. What we depend on is federal dollars. This transit bill will help us purchase new buses.
This bill affects every single one of us.
We are in Atlantic City, New Jersey at a conference held by the TWU advocating for transit funding.
The reauthorization of the Surface Transportation Bill. This is the first time where we are trying to engage the entire organization to fight that fight.
The Transit Division, along with the state conferences, got together to ensure that our members of Congress would fight for us when they work on this bill, when they hold markups, and when they vote on the floor. We did some basic training so that folks could hit the ground running in their own locals and really lay out some plans.
Congress has funded transportation through 28 separate short-term measures, very much impacting the ability of transit agencies to plan for service.
There were breakout sessions, background on the legislation itself.
Get everybody on the same page legislatively.
The more education we have and the more knowledge we have about what this funding entails, it helps us to go to our Congress people on a local, state, federal level.
A transit division standing unto itself is strong, but standing together with the air transport division and the railroad division, we are far stronger. Our strength is in numbers.
A lot of times you feel like the fight is just you and your state, and it's really not. The fight is everybody's fight.
You walked out of there with an idea of, okay, this is the importance, this is the goal, how do we get it?
Fund transit now! Fund transit now!
We went door knocking, asking people to support the Transportation Reauthorization Bill.
Gathering up members to come sit on the congressional hearings.
We had all of our members sign letters. We did phone calls.
The majority of our membership works at both JFK and LaGuardia airports, which are both located in downstate New York. 501 members spend countless hours every day on the road trying to get back and forth to work. You need to help support the TWU International and our brothers and sisters in the Transit Division and all the other divisions of the TWU, because this bill affects every single one of us. And we targeted the House reps that are in the JFK and LaGuardia vicinity.
In the depot, I have 700 operators reporting every day. So what we decided to do was find out what each operator's congressperson was, or senator. And then we had some easy steps to do. Here's a phone number. This is the person in the district, and here's a letter.
At that point, we stopped with the letters and we started with direct phone calls.
The first phone call that I personally made was to Joyce Beatty's office. I explained that I was a bus operator and that we really needed her support to pass this transportation bill.
Everybody that I contacted in email, I got replies from. We have 2 senators and 3 congressmen, and only 1 voted no.
Sherrod Brown was the most active with this. He came out and talked with us. He went all out for us.
Thank you to all the workers with TWU for your activism and for your advocacy. Over the past year, I've worked with you to pass a long-term transportation bill, the FAST Act, that provides certainty and security for workers and for our economy.
You could really see the tide start to turn on Capitol Hill.
Today we're at the Senate building in Washington, D.C.
We are at a hearing on the reauthorization of the transportation bill. National President Harry Lombardo is testifying.
Our drivers are the front lines of any transit organization in any part of the country. You know, anytime transit services is bad, interfered with, or in particular fares go up, the frontline person takes the brunt of the ridership's anger.
Assault on transportation workers is one of the biggest problems here in Ohio. It's a growing problem.
Assaults every day. Threatened, spat at, hit every single day.
They're allowed to sit at the end of the line on the bus with you, so you're like open prey.
The increasing number of assaults on our operators has to be addressed. On average, there are over 200 reported physical assaults annually on bus operators in New York City and Philadelphia combined. And that's just 2 U.S. cities.
We usually deal with on the state level.
We got together with 2 legislatures, a couple attorneys, the board members at Metro, the executive director. If we can get identity on anybody who assaults a bus driver, they'll prosecute them to the fullest.
On the federal level, it's equally important.
What we are looking for from reauthorization is that all new vehicles be required to have installed protective shields for the operator.
A GAO study on the impacts of privatization stated that savings come almost entirely from cutting wages and benefits. The federal government has historically remained neutral on whether to recommend privatizing services performed by public transit agencies. Do you believe that the government should continue this neutral approach?
Low wages, low benefits does not lead any employee to believe that they have a career and a lifetime job ahead of them to attain the skills and commitment and determination to do the job right. So yes, I believe we absolutely should continue with a neutral approach.
We work with TWU to protect transit workers from a Republican anti-labor proposal that outsource jobs through short-sighted privatization schemes.
By identifying some common ground, Democrats and Republicans in Congress were able to do something good for the country and good for our economy.
It also provided Amtrak funding.
We're right about 80% self-sufficient, but that 20% we depend on the transit bill to get our funding.
Our members who provide food and beverage service on the Amtrak trains have been under constant attack where they wanted to contract us out. We've gotten some good protections. It's definitely a step for us.
You know, we haven't had a transit bill for years and years and years. They've just been putting a Band-Aid on it and passing it through.
Congress has been passing transportation funding in small increments.
But with everybody coming out and putting pressure on them, we got the 5-year bills.
It's the long-term investments that make a big difference in job creation and in improving transit systems around the country. That's why a 5-year bill is so important.
It's a little more secure than just trying to constantly put out the fires with patchwork.
Which means more employment for us, better work environment for us, just to grow, become bigger in our community.
When the bill was signed by the president, we walked away knowing that we'd played an important role in fighting for our own members. We united under a common cause, and it was crucial not just for our union, but for the country.
This began early on. Coming out of the convention, there was this commitment.
We need to utilize the state conferences to unite TWU members and locals into one powerful union.
We are going to significantly up our game politically by building a true grassroots movement throughout our states and through our state conferences.
So this was a win for the organization, and the fact that it was done through grassroots lobbying showed our commitment to achieve convention goals.
When we mobilize on a common goal, it helps members understand, oh, this is why I'm in a broader union. There's something bigger than you.
We will win together or lose together. But brothers and sisters, we will do it together.
Whether it's wings, rails, or wheels, it's all our fight. We have more in common with each other than our collective bosses would like us to believe.
When you make those connections, it becomes more real, and then you want to do things as a national union. Build solidarity.
Well, I think we're definitely more united.
It's a long time coming. It really is.
If you're going to be militant and you're going to be an active union, that message has to come from the top.
We achieve victory when we're united. Together we can and we will win for our members.